it's a new day. Some things are different, but nothing has changed. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game. This is my time, faster than ever, hungry and I'm going to come back and take what is mine, bigger and better. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Some things are different, but nothing has changed. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game. Saddle, cut to the chase. I ain't somebody who stays in one place. Ready to go, I'm coming to play. You better know I still got something to say. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Some things are different, but nothing has changed. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game. couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, cause you know that I was born for this. I was born for this. Never met a match I couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, cause you know I was born. I tell you I was born for this. Ain't nothing gonna stop me now. I was born for this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Northwest iRacing Cup Series. Tonight, we are ready for round number 14. We're ready here at the Worldwide Technology Raceway, formerly known as Gateway International, just outside of St. Louis, Missouri, the home of the Arches. And we're ready to go here tonight for the Cup cars after a road course event last week at Sonoma. We're ready to see what these drivers can do here at this event tonight as we are back on iRacing on LSRTV and on the Community Radio Network. I am Wesley Outland. I'll be joined by Justin Prince momentarily. Of course, as always, in the hot state of the Lone Star State of Texas. Of course, it's hot in North Carolina where I'm at. I wonder how the weather is up in Canada for Justin. We'll check with him in a bit. But Rocket Media, live sim racing studios, Charles Wooten punching the buttons, and we are ready to go here tonight. Of course, these drivers are ready for round number 14. Could be an exciting race, and they're going to go 160 laps around the track that's just shy of a mile, over a mile, Worldwide Technology Raceway, as these drivers do get ready to go from the road courses last week at Sonoma to now getting ready to tackle this facility. Let's take a look at, I'll actually take a look at the point standings and I'll rattle them out to you real quickly. Right now, Brian Barnes has a 15-point lead, 430 points in total, to go with his no wins in 12 races, 1 pole, 7 top 5s, and 9 top 10s. He is still the man at the top of the board. Caden Anderson is second of the points, 15 points back with 2 wins on the year. Cole Raz has 2 wins, and he is third in the points, of course. He missed last week's race at Sonoma. He has a 33-point gap to the leader of Brian Barnes. Followed by 38 points back to Barnes is Lake Peterson, Dan West Jr. By the way, Lake Peterson has 5 wins, but he's only had 9 starts compared to the 12 that Brian Barnes has had. So there's your look at your top 5 of the points, separated by 47 points. And then you got 51 back to Sean Brightsman, 2020 Cup Series champion. Brian Reynolds is 7th. Ryan Bloom is 8th. Kevin Smith is 9th. And Jeff Stabnow currently in the top 10 in the point standings as it stands right now. So these drivers are getting into place. They're getting ready to go. Let's take a look at your race information for tonight. 160 laps, 100% fuel load capacity, 1 fast repair if need be, 4 sets of tires. That includes the set that tire cars are on for another 3 sets in the pits. Fixed iRacing setup and 2 attempts at the green-white checker overtime format if necessary here tonight at Worldwide Technology Raceway. In addition to that, let's take a look at the weather conditions, bottom right of the monitor, as it is, of course, 89 degrees, track temperature, wind speed at 13 miles an hour, track temp at 107. That's something we'll keep an eye on here. Round 13 tonight, Worldwide Technology Raceway. Nashville coming up next week. And, of course, Lake Peterson coming off of the most recent win, if you will, for the series. after taking the victory on the wine country road courses of Sonoma last weekend. So there are a lot of cool things going on. All that's about to go down here. Drivers meeting is about to wrap up, and we're actually now going into qualifying here. Notable entries to keep an eye on, obviously, 2-race win streak, hot streak for Lake Peterson. Justin Yee, 2021 pole winner season, and Dan West Jr., runner-up here in this race back in 2021. So there's just some notable drivers that you should keep an eye on here tonight at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. Qualifying forthcoming. We're ready to rock and roll here at WWTR in St. Louis, virtual iRacing. And here comes now the Willys Barbecue number 6, our defending series champion, the Willys Addictive Barbecue number 6 of Chris White. That's a new sponsor, by the way, for Christopher White. I was meaning to get him in the broadcast booth to talk a little bit more about it by request of the series, as right now that is not good for his Toyota number 6 as he just hit the wall there. And Willys Barbecue jumping on board as a sponsor. Willys Addictive Barbecue. Follow them on Facebook at Willys Addictive Barbecue. And Chris White was telling me this afternoon that his barbecue's the bomb. It just has really, really great food. So we'll try to see if we can grab a word with an interview with Chris White maybe later on in the race, some downtime. As here comes now Jeff Stab now. LSRTV CRN 4K Ford. Trying to turn things around and get that first win since the summer of 2020. As the Billings, Montana native will now go to the clock and take time here in qualifying. Jeff Stab now coming off of the exit of turn number 4, if you will. Let's see where he ends up. Crosses the line, 34.768, 34.768. That's good enough to crack to at least the top 10 for that driver. The Billings, Montana entry. Down the back straightaway. We'll see where he can go with one more lap. He'll get one more shot at it. Let's see what he can do here, as right now the man to bump is going to be Cole Rass, 34.05, 34.29. Quicker on his second lap, put him up in the top 5 now. Here comes Sean Brightsman, the Brights Boutique 2020 Northwest Cup Series champion out of originally Puyallup, Washington, now residing from Tucson, Arizona. 4th right now on the clock. Another one of those team mates to Jeff Stab now. John Odenbacher. Right now, Cole Raz, Lake Peterson, Dylan Huffine, Sean Brightsman, Justin Yee, top 5 in qualifying. Sean Brightsman working his way back around start-finish. And we'll see what time he'll put on the board here now as he's off turn 4, back to the flag stand. Will he climb? He's at 4th. 34.821, 34.821. Still not a lock of climbing to the pole position, but he will go up one spot there to 4th position. Though still locks at 4th in qualifying. Here comes now Kevin Smith on the racetrack. 00 Kevin Smith currently right now 9th in the points. No wins on the Cup Series for the Northwest, but he's got 2 Truck Series wins. Kevin Smith will work his way back across the start-finish line. Put another lap on the board, if you will. .34.302. Top 13, if you will, qualifying run there for the 00 from Hermiston, Washington. Ford Mustang. Here comes now one of the Beaver State drivers, the American touch-up number 41. Stephen O'Hare now qualifying. Last time he was on the clock, 34.614. 34.614 seconds for Stephen O'Hare. And Stephen O'Hare way on the bottom of the scoring pylon. We'll see what he can do now. He just got his warm-up lap done. So now he's officially on the clock. We'll see what time he'll turn. As Stephen O'Hare works his way back to start-finish. First lap, 34.738, 34.738 seconds. And I'm understanding that it's invalid and it does not count. Will he get one more shot at it, or does his qualifying time not count? That's the question. And I'm understanding his qualifying times will not count, so. Got about 7.5 minutes remaining. If anybody else wants to be a taker to qualify, right now unofficially 34.05. Cole Raz. About 29 cars signed in here to go tonight. Cole Raz 34.05. Decaden Anderson 34.06. I will be joined by Mr. Justin Prince momentarily. But right now, the field is gridding here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And we are about to go racing here. Round number 13 of the season. 140 laps, 175 miles around Worldwide Technology Raceway. Cole Raz is on the pole. Caden Anderson on the outside. Row Super Friends, if you will. Again, row 2, Lake Peterson. 5 wins on the year. Dylan Huffine. It's good to see Dilly back in the 20. Row 3, Sean Breitzman alongside Justin Yee in 64. Row 4, Jeff Stabnow and Kevin Smith. Now take your top 10 with Brian Barnes, man number 1 to the points. Brian Reynolds alongside in the 12. Row number 6, Casey Duncan in the 17. Chris White in the number 6. We'll try to grab a word with him in some downtime. James Viney, the Catman, 333. Dan Lowther in 63. Row 7. Row 8, the legend Frank Harris in the 11. To the outside, Dan West Jr., DWJ, 2-time and defending Truck Series champion in 55 from Shelton, Washington. Billings, Montana native John Ottebacher in the 89. Russ Lundberg, 129. Going to see him back in the series. He'll start 18th. Top 20, Casey Garver, the 94. Runner-up in Daytona, the 71 Buckeyes, Aaron Cooper. Row 11, Stephen O'Hare, the Beaver State Racing 41, and Ron Hunter in the 22. Row 12, BJ Tedrick. Last win he got in the series was in the summer of 2020 at Darlington. And Clifford Toby Ritters could tonight be the night for the Washington native in 23. Row 13, Carl Burke, the 53 to the outside, Troy Daggett in 51. Row 14, Tyler Kim in 30. Chris Camary in the number 15. Row 15, top 30, final spot, BJ Duval in the 85 car. 29 cars ready to go here tonight at Worldwide Technology Raceway. The field is rolling, but you better not pass that pace car until the pace car is rolling. So there they go. Super Friends playing with the pace car a little bit. And now we are officially on the pace laps. I think they'll take one preliminary lap. They'll come to the green flag this time by. 160 laps is the distance. Worldwide Technology Raceway, they said was 140, but it's actually 160. So 160 laps. Ready to go here. Lights off on the pace car. This track, a short track, but races a lot like a super speedway. So this will be fun to watch. Caden Anderson up on the outside. Raz not present last week. in the Sonoma truck race, or the cup race. We're ready to go here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. We're glad you're here. Strap in for the ride. Round 13 after road racing at Sonoma. We're back on the ovals. Green flag in the air. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a race. We're underway here at Gateway, now known as Worldwide Technology Raceway. They'll send it off into turn number 1 and 2. Back straightaway. Anderson up on the outside, and we already got trouble. Caution flag already out as fast as this race got started. We go under yellow. Tyler Kim in the grass in the 30 car. The Busch Light Ford going around in turn number 1 and 2. And that will put us under caution here just as fast as this race got underway. And here is your, if you will, here's a replay of what happened. Keep an eye on that number 30 of top. He just, oh man, just drove down, bottom of the apron, got into the rumble strip, his car went around, and there's the yellow flag. The problems for Tyler Kim. Quickly getting things started here. Obviously, we are just underway. So nobody, I don't think, is going to come to the pit lane except maybe Tyler Kim if they've got to have some service done, worked on the car. So we're just getting started at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Still got a long way to go here, as they didn't even get half a lap down the back straightaway before the caution flag came out. Of course, super friends Caden Anderson as well as Dan West Jr. right there alongside, I'm sorry, Cole Raz right there alongside with one another when this got started. And again, still a lot of racing here left to go. We're glad you're along for the ride. Thanks for joining us, iRacing on LSRTV. Also on the Community Radio Network, we have real stock car racing broadcast and iRacing coverage on CRN, the Community Radio Network, 87.5 FM until effective excited about that. And all the while, of course, Caden Anderson is the man that's jumped out in front. He's looking for that first win of the year if he can pull it off, the driver of that number 37 machine. Caden Anderson with, looking for win number 3. Brian Barnes, obviously, the man looking for that first career win on the series. Man that's been consistent up in the points. So let's wreck down the wins column, if you will. 5 wins for Lake Peterson, 2 wins for Anderson and Cole Raz, 1 for Dan West Jr., 1 for Sean Brightsman, and it's actually 3 wins. Aaron Cooper, they're still saying on the thing he won Daytona, but actually was a runner-up. 3 wins for Cole Raz, 2 for Caden Anderson, 1 Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman, and that's the winners, if you will, of the season so far. Lights off for the pace car. We'll be joined momentarily by Justin Prince. He had another previous iRacing broadcast obligation. He got to wrap up that commitment before we can bring him into the rocking chair. get things started here. So all the while, we'll try to settle in here and go back for the restart. Still a long way left to go in this race. As again, your leader, Kaden Anderson, Cole Rass, right there with one another. Settling in, we'll go again. And all the while, green flag back in the air. Back to racing. Anderson jumping up to the front. Look at now Peterson and Brightsman battle. Brightsman up on the outside. Throw also Justin Yee in that mix. In the back straightaway to the outside lane. It's Anderson still the leader. Anderson, Raz, Brightsman, Peterson. Oh, we got trouble. Couple of cars under the fence. Dylan Huffines is one of them. Huffines, Kevin Smith, Audenbacher, Hunter. And it all started with the Liv Moss entry, Taco Bell number 20, a Dylan Huffines. His Chevrolet number 20 beaten, battered. Other cars got collected. And just as fast as this race got back on the restart, it goes quickly back under yellow. Watch the replay here. Great work by Charles Wooten, the production chair, which, by the way, now has a big 50-inch big screen monitor above his whole other 8 production monitors. The staff now gave a bump to Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith got in to Dylan Huffines. And some other cars quickly on the binders also check up and avoid. And that will put us under the caution flag here for the, if you will, second time of the race. While we have a break in the action, I said I would try to grab him one time or another, and I got him in here right now so he can chat with us. It's been a while since we've talked to him. Of course, defending series champion of the Northwest iRacing Cup Series is Chris White. Chris White, of course, the driver of the number 6, got himself a new wrap job, new car. The driver out of Rochester, Washington. Christopher, always good catching up with you, man. How's Gateway gone so far, although with 2 yellows in the opening 10 laps?
Hey, guys, how's it going? I appreciate you bringing me up in the booth. Yeah, Gateway's an interesting track for sure. Put a lot of laps in for practice. Car feels good. Didn't show very well in qualifying there as it locked it up on the first lap. But not a good starting spot, but we're hoping to get some runs in here and see how the car is on the long run.
So listen, new wrap job on the car, Willie's Addictive Barbecue. I'm a connoisseur of barbecue. Where I travel all over the country calling races, I've got to stop and try the different barbecue at different places. Talk a little bit about Willie's Addictive Barbecue and how you got them on board as a sponsorship for this race tonight.
Yeah, well, first of all, he's not necessarily a sponsorship. I'm just kind of doing this out of courtesy. Met Willie back on June 6th during a commercial shoot that I did for the U.S. Chef Store chain, and he showed up with his truck and his trailer. It's a full-size barbecue smoker machine, and man, he had some of the best brisket you could ever taste. He had barbecue chicken, ribs, baked potato salad, baked beans. I mean, he had it all. And when I asked him, the areas he services, he's like, I can go anywhere. And I think right now, in fact, he's out in South Dakota, so that goes to show he can go anywhere. Great barbecue, great guy, very nice. Appreciate what he did for us on June 6th there, and just wanted to put a wrap job on here and show some support and get his name out there and help hopefully bring him some business.
Yeah, it's awesome, and I understand that he actually is tuning in to the broadcast in South Dakota, if you will, getting that barbecue served to the masses of people. And if anyone is looking for an excellent mobile barbecue, to contact Willie and Willie's Addictive Barbecue via phone. It's on the side of his race car. You can also find it via Facebook, and I'll hand it out there vocally right now, 253-632-5303. And, man, we'll let you get set and get back to racing again here, though, but it's good catching up with you, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
And there's the thoughts of Chris White. as he gets ready to bring that car back to the restart, and we're back underway with racing here. Caden Anderson, Cole Raz, right there beside one another. They dive off into the corner. Working down the back straightaway, Sean Brightsman, Jeff Stabnow now making a climb up into the top 5, up 3 spots. And all the while, Caden Anderson back up in front in the number 37. Raz behind him. Peterson will follow. And Jeff Stabnow in trouble. He's into the inside retaining wall. Something happened to Stabnow's car. Whatever happened to Jeff Stabnow, he put it in the fence on the inside retaining wall, but we are still under the green flag. No caution. And the field works their way back off of turn number 4. With Anderson in the lead. Peterson and Raz now battling for second spot. Peterson will now go around Raz and take that second position as they go to the back straightaway into turn number 3. Caden Anderson, Harvest Chevrolet entry. Looking to now be a winner on the 3-time Winners Club this year and tie with his super friend, Cole Raz, who has 3 wins. The most wins is, by the way, the car behind him in second, Blake Peterson with 5. All the while, these races underway, round 13 here tonight. Road course racing last weekend, sheer domination, if you will, by the driver. Sheer domination by the driver at Lake Peterson on the road course last week. No doubt about it here. Lake Peterson, the number 9, behind him, Raz. That's for second and third. Justin Yee, teammate or close friend there to Lake Peterson, right there, as they go to the back straightaway. Into that turn 3, working off of 4. Couple of cautions in the opening 10 laps of this race. Now we're working lap 13. 1 lap shy of having the longest green flag run of the event so far. Still a lot of racing though left to go. Look at that camera angle up the top side, high above Worldwide Technology Raceway into turn number 1 and 2 at Gateway. Turn 2 to the back straightaway. Awesome view of the action going on here. And away view, if you will, down to that corner. That looks really, really cool. The leaders work off turn number 4. Down the front stretch. Dan West Jr., number 55, keeping an eye on him now, as DWJ has moved back up into the top 10. He's in 8th. And all the while all of this action continues to take place, I'm joined now in the broadcast booth by my colleague from up in Canada, Justin Prince. Justin, good evening to you. Northwest Cup tonight, Worldwide Technology Raceway. 2 cautions already in the opening 10 laps.
And this is the type of racetrack that really challenges competitors, because in the league scene in particular, this is a facility we've seen plenty of times throughout the years, especially for some of the top drivers on the platform. But this is the type of racetrack where, with this next-gen car, lots of challenges were to be expected for tonight, and I mentioned the cautions have been a bit of a challenge for some, especially with trying to handle possibly that turn 2 exit, Wesley, because of how tight the camber is at that end of the racetrack alone.
That's something we'll keep an eye on. Again, Justin, welcome back aboard as we work their way back off of turn number 3 and 4. Sean Brightsman, 2020 Series champion, watching him come down the front straight, or the back, the front straightaway, heading back to turn number 1. Caden Anderson, Lake Peterson, Cole Raz, Justin Yee, Sean Brightsman of the top 5. And you know, we had that first couple of caution flags, the opening laps, if you will, Justin. But after that, things have kind of settled down here a little bit. And obviously, I think that's the smart thing you got to do. Plus, you got massive cloud cover over the racetrack. I think you need to just lock some laps off for these drivers right now.
Exactly, especially with there being 160 laps up on the board for tonight officially. That's only 2 hours in that time window you see currently up on your upper left-hand corner. That's not a lot of time to work with, and the more laps you turn, the better when it comes to trying to complete the lap distance. But the main thing I've also noticed on top of that logging of laps, the drivers with major short track experience, they're pulling off and away. Brightsman's lost ground for the battle for the top 4, while the drivers with plenty of that short track experience, the Super Friends, are 1, 2, 3, 4.
And obviously the Super Friends, if you will, Cole Raz, 3 wins on the year, 2 wins for Caden Anderson, so he wants to one-up and be tied with him. And meanwhile, everyone trying to run down Lake Peterson, who again, even though by virtue of not having enough starts, he's still got the most wins at 5. He's just been the dominator, if you will. Suffice to say, if you look at the big 3 that they always say in NASCAR, going into the points hunter for a championship, Justin, as we move into the summer months, I would suffice to say the big 3 of the series has to be, no doubt about it, Lake Peterson, Caden Anderson, Cole Raz.
I think it's arguably absolutely the top 3 grouping, with Justin Yee just on the outside looking in amongst that, because they have been consistently some of the quickest drivers long run on the track, and that has been a major thing for them throughout this season, is long run pace, and for many drivers, long run pace, to be able to win at a track such as this one, or at any of the circuits across the calendar here on iRacing, here in Northwest Cup Series competition. The critical thing, though, too, some of the best in terms of that long run, Anderson I'm specifically talking about, has ran away from everybody here with the clean air.
Cole Raz down the back straightaway. Big lead over Lake Peterson. And all the while, Caden Anderson, the leader, with a big lead of 1 second on Cole Raz. Justin Yee right there behind his friend and teammate for a while of Lake Peterson. Sean Brightsman right now, that top 5 bunch, working back around across the racetrack. Now we got a battle now going on is 2-time defending series champion from Shelton, Washington, Dan West Jr., the LSRTV CRN West Racing entry 55, trying to run down the points leader, current of the series, of Brian Barnes. Popsicle Toyota passes him like easily into that 3rd turn. Tyler Kim off the pace. That driver on the apron coming to the pit lane, Justin, as they exit out 4.
That will be something to keep an eye on for a few of the drivers. I think will be the tire wear in particular, because remember how big that was in the real world. Imagine it in the sim side and the equivalent. Tire wear might be a major sticking point for a few of these strategies. The longer this run goes, we've seen already some movers and shakers like West Jr. this run. Others have started to really slide back. Brian Reynolds in particular, I'm looking at Wesley, who's dropped 4 spots in the past 5 or 10 minutes or so. He's in 10th.
Anderson, Raz, Peterson. There you see now West in that battle going on to the top 10. That's for 6th and 7th and 8th. Making a run now in that Willie's Addictive Barbecue defending series champion, the number 6. Here comes the Rochester, Washington native of Chris White. Behind him, Brian Reynolds. Dan Lowther also in that car.
And Dan Lowther is putting on some good moves this run as well, up 3 spots from the starting position for the 63. The tough thing is, though, with this track, making passes. You know why? One, you see it right there. the different lines you can take in 3 and 4 make it very difficult, despite the wider sweep, to get a full run. The outside line gets a better run no matter what it seems in many cases. But also, the caution is out. Front straightaway.
Caution out for the third time. Massive pileup. Boy, we got a big pileup there. Kevin Smith involved. James Vining involved as the smoke and the dust clears. Troy Daggett up against the outside, or the outside safer wall barrier. And yellow flag out for the third time. All right. Justin, you saw it break loose on the front straightaway for caution number 3 here at Gateway.
See, this is around where it sparks up the road. You see the bobble, and Vining gets the back of the loose car, and then with the way the walls are here, it's like a funnel. If you aren't able to keep an eye closely open towards this, you get involved in a stack up like this one.
Yeah, that's exactly just what happened. Wow, what a easily getting through that save there.
Yep,
Some of these cars, are they coming to the pit? Are they going to pit, you think?
I think at least a couple of them may think about it, but they're still sorting out getting to the pace car before a lot of them have to come in. In fact, looking like a majority of the drivers looking to keep a set maybe with just 3 in the pits tonight.
Yeah, they get 4 sets of tires. They got the set that they started on and the 3 sets that are in the pit, as you just reiterated on. So all that is happening right now as they are coming down. Some are not. We are under the yellow flag. We are 28 laps into this race, 160 laps. The distance is 131 laps to go. We're also at the top of the hour, midnight Eastern time. We move into Tuesday, June the 14th. We'll pause for 10 seconds of network identification, and we'll take a quick break. This is iRacing on LSRTV, and for those that are listening on the Community Radio Network, we're back from Worldwide Technology Raceway in just a moment.
You're listening to the Community Radio Network. Follow us via social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CRN Sports. Plus, listen to other games at 87.5 FM or join us anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. We are CRN.
Back here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, still a long way to go here for the drivers of the Northwest Racing Series Cup Cars, round 13. Justin, what do you think of the new update that iRacing had on for the new next-gen Cup Cars? We saw a little sample of the damage model earlier tonight in the, if you will, Sim 500 Cup event at Iowa, with the sparks and the bending of the chassis, if you will, and the wheels coming off if need be. And pretty interesting how they've kind of updated things here since last Wednesday.
I think it was to be expected to see the new damage model on the next-gen car in particular, because there was a sampling of it, if you remember, during 1 week with the Gen 6 car around this time last year. It quickly was short-lived, to say the least. But with the new damage model for these drivers now, I think it's been very well executed, to say the least, when it comes to being able to execute with this damage, to showcase it realistically compared to before. But also, you have to remember that for many of these drivers, it may be an experience to try and figure out, okay, did I just break the right front tire off my car? So it may be an adjustment period for a few others with how the damage is handled suspension-wise, or especially with if you get, say, a dragging part around the car.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see for sure. Thanks for that update there. As again, there's a lot of cool things that are going on with this series, and we're coming off of that week break, if you will, for the trucks. road course race last week for the Cup cars at Sonoma. And remember, next week we go to Nashville Super Speedway. So that's always fun. And then, of course, if you will, Justin, once we get that cleared up, we then have the break coming up for summer. Race for another couple of races on, off, and on. Then we go into that 8-week stretch until Labor Day. Moving into a run to the championship and the playoffs as the field makes their way back to the Geico restart zone out of turn number 4. Field is there. Green flag back out. And you notice, Justin, they put that restart zone right there, probably about 200 yards from the flag stand. Less than that, 50 yards from the flag stand, if you will. And then they send it right there to speed to 1 and 2.
And don't forget, that was also part of the brand new build, is the implementation of restart zones, where the leader has that box compared to it being in control of either from the time the pace car goes off the lane to about that time where Barney is in control of the field. A good launch for the top 3 for the rest of the pack. It's Fort Farm back in a hornet's nest. As look at the fight and look at Chris White looking to try and move himself forward in this.
Chris White making him run down to the inside, trying to hook up with Stephen O'Hare. As Dan West Jr. got way, way high, puts himself in the safer wall barrier off the second turn.
Trouble in the back with the new damage model. Kevin Smith has broken his suspension and he is struggling to make it through the track. Justin Yee was in the vicinity of the incident. We stay green.
Yeah, we saw Justin Yee just flash there for a second. He disappeared. And obviously all tore up, 0-0.
Oh, trouble again. Front stretch for more damage, Frank Harris. Caution.
No, whoa, caution's out here. Oh, on board with the points leader, Brian Barnes. This is not good.
2 different incidents coming out of turn 4 in the past 2 laps. The first one involving Yee and company. The second one is even bigger. Further up through the field, Harris looped it up the track right into the side of Toby Ritter's car.
Multi-accidents in different parts of the spectrum. It started with Kevin Smith and Justin Yee. And here's what happened here on the front straightaways. Frank Harris turns into Toby Ritter's. Ritter's in the fence. More cars spinning. Brian Barnes slammed into the wall, into Clifford, into Toby Ritter's. And then there you see the end result of a multi-car, if you will, secondary accident on the front stretch to put us in a yellow flag for the 4th time here. Justin Prince on lap number 35.
And I think at least a few of those incidents you just seen right there with drivers looping it up into the right side of the wall, the outside wall, should say, was partly because the broken suspension was the new damage model. A few drivers learning the hard way how difficult it is to drive a car that is dragging right from the tire that is just about broken off your car. But pit stops are underway for Peterson, White, and a few others. Oh, and Peterson passed somebody coming into the lane with Chris White. Black flags for the 9 and the 6. And Tyler Kim.
So Peterson, White, and Kim all being penalized. Do you still make your pit stop even though you're going to get a penalty there, Justin Prince?
I think they not only passed the leader, some of them passed nearly the pace car there for the yellow cone. We'll see if those penalties stick.
Fines and Brightsman also coming back to the pit lane. Here you go. Peterson is back on track.
Yeah, that it was going to hurt them track position-wise, say the least. You can't pass the cars on the racetrack is the exact words being said from race control in regards to that. Chris White has had his black cleared, though, in that regard, as well as Lake Peterson. So at the very least, they won't have to drop to the end of the pack from it. So in our words, big picture right there, Wesley, for the future.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. Big picture racing here is, again, so many drivers getting hit with that penalty there, and you can't. I will say this, Justin, if you are going to get a penalty and get kind of put behind the 8 ball, at least it's happening now in the early stages and not in the late stages of the race.
Absolutely. Robert's getting a second warning in results of that incident, by the way. But here's the major thing with the damage buildup. Plenty of drivers have already had to take mandatory repairs after already using their fast brakes or not fast brakes. That's not basketball. Fast repairs early. So that will be something to watch for big time the rest of the night.
There's Anderson looking now for that third win on the series if he pulls it off. Right now he's sitting in a nice comfortable spot in the top spot since the drop of the green for the most part. Cole Raz right behind him already with 3 wins. Stephen O'Hare quietly climbing up into the top 5, up 18 spots to third. Up 7, Casey Duncan. How about this one also, Justin? Up 5 in 5th, up 14 spots. Casey Garber in 19 positions. Biggest climber of the race, Carl Burke, the legend. He's in 6th.
Yeah, Carl Burke amongst those 2 who have hit in the past few cautions. In fact, he's the first of those who have pit as a result of the rash of caution flags. The interesting thing are the drivers next to him and behind him on the restart. BJ Tidrick, 42 seconds of repairs during the previous caution flag prior to the most recent one, is now in 7th. John Ottenbacher, 28 seconds of repairs. Also pit for repairs during that previous caution, is in 8th. And a few drivers took 2 tires or fuel only during this caution. Peterson and Cooper were those 2.
Lights off on the pace car. We'll settle them in here. Lap 38 of 160. Next week, Nashville Super Speedway. We're going there. Should be a good one for us. And then we'll take off after Road America. So we got 3 weeks here for you. Sonoma, Worldwide, Nashville, Road America. Off on 4th of July. Monday night, July 4th officially. And then we come back. Chicago, Pocono, New Hampshire, Indianapolis, Michigan, all on the way. Pace car on the pit lane at Worldwide Technology Raceway here at Gateway. Field comes back to the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. And we are back at it again as Super Friends, Justin, take it down the long drag stretch into turn number 1.
Nice and clear is it, Caden Anderson. Cole Raz trying to get the boost back. Can't get the run. Gets fed some dirty air. Dropping back to second by a few car lengths. The battle is on for third behind him. O'Hare trying to side draft the back end of Casey Duncan's car. Goes to send it. The Beaver State Racing car nearly misses the bottom as Duncan gives it to O'Hare for third.
A nice battle for third on back between O'Hare, Duncan, Burke, Garber, and Cooper. That goes on into turn number 1 is now, it looked like Reynolds wanted to jump out of line in the top 10 out of 2.
Reynolds wants to go. Trying to shuffle things around the outside, so is Garber. Here come the fresh tires, though, of Carl Burke. See in the backdrop, Casey Duncan trying to defend the fresh tire brigade and the pit stop brigade. Duncan misses the bottom. Burke is up to 4 with a pass to the bottom.
Down to the inside of the racetrack. They work their way back off of turn 4. Almost one car sideways. I think it's Garber. Garber got loose. No, Aaron Cooper, if you will. Aaron Cooper's the car that bonsai'd the Liquid Death Toyota somehow, somewhere in a shower of sparks below the apron. The front nose or the front spoiler of the car is gone.
Caution.
And he is going to the pits, and we got a caution there, Justin.
That's with him stopping to the bottom of the track, and left front tire was broken on Cooper. That's why. And that is another mistake. Cooper, believe, hit the apron before the slam to the side of Garber, which was enough to break the suspension. These cars, well, pretty fragile with the front tires with contact we're seeing.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. They are very, very fragile, as we just saw what took place here. And here's a look, Justin, at the replay. I remember I just saw that car get a little fishtailed, if you will, right there off of 4 from the camera angle right here. And then all of a sudden got into a couple other cars. What a great piece of driving everybody made to miss the 71 of Cooper.
And this looks fine and good, but the problem is that one hit with the side of Garber's car was enough to break the wheel off. And because This is on the apron, technically on the pavement. That is enough to trigger the caution flag for the rest of the field. Cooper, out of the race, has parked it as a result of that contact.
That's tough right there. Best thing for this driver so far was in week number 1, if you will, the runner-up finish to Daytona to that driver on the outside, the number 10 of Cole Raz, who was the inaugural, the first race winner of the season at Daytona. So, oh my. Justin, and as I keep count, I think we're at 5 caution flags now.
Yeah, the caution count is definitely building up. We're not even at halfway. And remember that time that was popping up? Yeah, was about to say, with the time pop you seen there going away, time might become a bit of a factor with how this could play out if it keeps on becoming caution precaution. With how this is going with a lot of the drivers. And keep in mind, the new damage model had adjustments coming into this week with the new iRacing build, as we've seen, when it comes to the torque calculations, when it comes to the dirt surface properties, as well as how things such as chain link fence physics were adjusted for the realism in this regard, as well as the tire rim collisions and underside impacts being improved slightly. We see the results of that adjustment.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, all of the work that's gone in, for sure, on updating all these things. And what will they think of next?
And don't forget,
I say that.
Yeah, they already also adjusted with the current data coming in for tires, for brakes, for the gear adjustments, for how the aerodynamics factor with the cars now with some more rear-world experience, how the skid blocks are for the rear, as well as the rear diffuser for when it comes to the ride heights to build it, as well as adjusting, say, the low downforce graphical package now being used at Homestead, Miami, for example, which was originally enabled but didn't have the graphic for it, for Homestead.
Let's give you your top 10 right now as we're closing in on lap number 50. We're 43 of 160 laps. So this event here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Caden Anderson is the leader. Cole Raz is second. Up 18 spots, Stephen O'Hare. Man, I still say this, Justin, impressive. Carl Burke, the legend, up 21 spots in fourth. Up 11 spots in fifth, Dan West Jr. Then it's Casey Duncan, Briar Reynolds, Dan Lowther, Sean Breitzman, Chris White. Your top 10 as it stands right now for the field to come back down the front straightaway. You know, Justin, I've heard this. We talked about it on radio, and of course last week for NASCAR while they were there for their race. Gateway, aka Worldwide Technology Raceway, now named that in St. Louis. It has it all. It's got a little bit of flair to Martinsville, to Richmond. Dover's thrown in there. Darlington's thrown in there. A little bit of also Phoenix. This is a very unique racetrack here.
It's an extremely unique racetrack where, keep in mind, a few years ago, this track might not have been on schedules in general. And then you have the infusement and investment and ownership at this facility over the past few years or so, around the 2011 mark, and this track has gone from towards the edge of the brink to being one of the few tracks to host NASCAR Cup Series, NTT IndyCar, and drag racing all at this facility in the same year.
That's right. Yeah, so many cool things. Obviously, ARCA races there as well. It's really awesome to see where they have come and where they're going with this racetrack that was also on the brink, as you said, of almost closing down. Ready for the field to go back to the Geico restart zone. Green flag back out here at Gateway, and it is Anderson jumping up in front of Anderson. Jumping up in front of Raz. He shut the door on him, wouldn't even give him an opportunity to go to the outside and taking advantage of it as they go to Alpha 2.
Single file for the top 5, but the fresh tires, they're on a move. Keep an eye on Carl Burke and Dan West Jr. They look to battle as Casey Duncan gets a dive from the inside from Briar Reynolds. The bottom line is rolling as Breitzman joins the fray in the middle of the top 10.
Anderson, Raz, O'Hare, White's up there now. This is the battle going on now for 9th and 10th. Oh, Chris White. Chris White, Duncan, 3 wide. He's going to try to make it work. Oh, look at Lowther. He threads the needle out of 2.
Wrightsman sent it deep. That didn't work. Here comes Duncan outside. Lowther prefers the inside of the 1-5 Studios machine. Sparks kicked up from Wrightsman. Still able to keep it rolling on the bottom as Duncan continues to be battled around for the race lead. It's side by side.
Side by side, and now Raz on the bottom. Anderson up on the outside. Dan West Jr., do you go to the bottom or the top? Who do you run with? Maybe you do your own thing. Here comes Carl Burke. He wants to put his nose in the battle. 4 cars, make it 5 if O'Hare can get up there for the lead. Dan West Jr. trying to go 2 for 1 as they go to turn 3.
The fresh tires of West Jr. inside for second. Everyone goes up the hill. Here comes West Jr. West Jr. squeezed by Anderson. Hits the curb. Gets clear for the bleed.
Move Anderson now to second. Raz to third. And there goes down the battle with Brian Reynolds and Sean Wrightsman inside the top 5, 6, and 7 spots. All this going on in front of your leaders.
Still back and forth as Reynolds gives up some space for Wrightsman on the fresher rubber. Wrightsman back up to the top 5. Restart of this race. Sends it up to the back end of the 53. Now the battle for second is on with a major checkup off the 4.
What a drive for Carl Burke right now. He's got everything going good for him. He sits to the number 4 spot. And not only Justin Prince did Dan West Jr. take the lead, he is pulling away with the lead. He has opened the lead to over 1.5 seconds, if you will, as they hit the back straightaway. 1.3 seconds now the interval, and closing or losing the gap is now second and third as well. Burke almost hit the fence there out of turn number 3. He did get in the wall, but he's still stuck on the high side.
Raz is around to the heart of the track. Caution flag is out. The 10 spins in the head of the track, and a major stack up on the outside. Vining,
Brian Barnes, the points leader, involved. Hendricks involved. Everyone else checking up behind them. Onenbacher might have got collected. Oh my goodness. Wow, Justin.
What happened to Raz? That was out of nowhere, but I think there was help here, Wesley, because Wrightsman was behind him and may have hit him in the left rear. Watch this replay.
Well, we were watching everything go on with Carl Burke up on the top shelf alongside of these cars, and there was a little bump there to the left rear from Wrightsman, a little shunt, and then everyone else is just piling in to get on the binders to miss Raz in the smoke. And there you see the end result. Wow.
I think we have to see what happened here for this second group, because I don't even think getting on the binders was part of it. It seems like everybody just lit their binders on fire.
Behind them, you think? They stacked up one by one behind them here. Let's go on board with the points leader, Brian Barnes, who's already had some bad luck earlier tonight. Look at the smoke. It's already up there in the corner.
Looking fine.
There it is.
Fine. Not fine.
So Garber tagged the back end of the 4 of Barnes there. So, wow.
Did Garber get some help, though?
Extended replay. Awesome work here by Charles Wood in the production truck. Let's see now what happened to Casey Garber. Vining on the inside of him. Casey Duncan in front of them in the 17. Western Auto throwback color of Darrell Waltrip, and here we go.
Cautions out from about this point. And at this point, you have to realize what's going on, and everyone catches up except for Vining.
Vining tagged the back of Garber. Yeah, man, he tagged the back of Kenneth Garber, just sit him up the hill there.
Oh, and then you have Hunter looping in the wall on top of this. What in the world?
Yeah, we missed that. Wow.
I'm stunned. The caution was out for at least 5-10 seconds there. It didn't look like anyone even started backing up until they were in the heart of turn 3. But now it gets intriguing because now the fresh tires of West Junior and Burke have a chance to battle. In fact, everyone about 7th on back from this hit after taking notes from what just happened, Wesley.
And the question is, Justin, do you pit on lap 53? Are we going to see any takers come to the pits once they give us the pit road? So they already pitted. Okay, that's when we were showing the extended replays of everything.
Correct.
We wanted to give you an extended replay of all that happened because that was probably not only a crazy climactic accident, if you will, Justin, but there was a lot of major implications on the line with some of those drivers that got collected in that accident over there just then.
Mention the points for Brian Barnes. Huge because, remember, Barnes was also involved in one of the bigger wrecks earlier on tonight. So now significant damage to deal with for the rest of the evening for the 4 machine. But now I think we're about to have a bit of a crazy party of battling to get into the heart of the pack, too. Approaching halfway, Wesley. I think we're about to see the crazy train have a few more cars join it.
You don't think we've seen the crazy train already?
Why do you think I said a few more cars?
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's done yet. Race analysis of the race so far. Closing in on 60 laps here. If you check the bottom left of the monitor, normally he has to, at least helps us up with keeping up with caution counts. I think we're at 6. That's not right. 3 cautions. Oh. I think they're missing a couple.
Yeah, in the past a little bit, 3 lead changes too with the different strategies. Keep in mind, Anderson starting 8th. Breitzman was the first off the lane during that sequence with fuel only.
Yeah, it's interesting. Fuel only. Keep an eye on that. Ready for the field to come back to the restart zone. And concluding what will be the 6th caution flag of the race. We're back here now. Green flag back out. Dan West Jr. again, Justin, another awesome launch. Look at the legend Carl Burke go to P2. We haven't really talked anything about that guy since he had a shot to win Indianapolis in the Majors 500 at Indy.
Burke trying to get the run down the back straightaway. Trying to find a way to West Jr. Pull away from the Hornet's Nest. Takes the higher arc. West Jr. tries to stink it along the end of the rumble strips. Burke has to check up for the dirty air off through turn 4. They have a good gaggle of a gap by 1.3 seconds of the freshies.
Down the front straightaway, of course, now here comes Chris White. Chris White will now get some company on the inside of Dan Lowther. Anderson behind him. That goes on for 5th, 6th, and 7th at turn 1 and 2.
Fresh tires getting to work on the outside. White gives some space. Caden Anderson, the first on the freshies. Next driver back for that strategy is O'Hare. Caution flag is out back straightaway in the back of the pack. It is Hunter again in trouble as West Jr. and company will come to a slow.
Problems for Ron Hunter, driver of the 22 machine. There you see some of the sparks there, Justin. Now that's some of the new graphics on the new damage model. And one of the other new things I've noticed is if a car gets wrecked, it's hard to steer.
As mentioned, broken suspension. There was help here. Watch Kevin Smith. He's picked up a black flag for incident points with this incident. Trying to run the bottom. Then right up into Hunter as Hunter overcorrects into the wall.
Oh, just bonsai the side of him. And there you see some of that suspension, the toe in you were mentioning there. Look like he's kind of like crab walking, if you will. And then see the sparks come from the back end of the car. And then we saw where he just about locked the car up again in the corner right here. Look where he goes up into the safer wall barrier. Keeps it off the wall, but then drops into the apron and the infield grass. And this is all the while, Justin, if you lose control of the car with the new damage model.
Yeah, by the time he got to the pit lane, it's worth noting in the stall, that tire that you seen weeble wobbling was nearly all the way off the car with the damage. Significant hit that could end Ron Hunter's night as a result, but now gives a bit of a breathing space for the drivers who just pit. Anderson now has the bottom, which is critical for this upcoming restart.
Oh, and mind you, we still have 100 laps to go here at Gateway. We're not even at even halfway yet. 7 caution flags of the race so far. Here comes now one of the cars. There goes Troy Daggett getting her wave around the 51. I'll tell you what, though, Justin, we've seen now 2 times, even under caution on a restart. And then whenever he made the pass for the lead on Caden Anderson, Dan West Jr., man, he is, can we say it's kind of been a bittersweet season for him? He's had his share of good and bad luck. More bad than good, mind you. It looks like things are definitely working in his favor tonight, though. Doing really well in that 55.
The good that comes to mind in particular is Atlanta, because that was one of the first Speedway events of the season and was in the conversation throughout the entire night for the race lead inside the top 5. But the bad absolutely has come in a lot of the shorter tracks, a lot of the tracks where West Jr. struggled in terms of just getting a grip of things. Texas comes to mind, I think, for example, with a lot of the craziness there. But tonight, he's just been able to, it seems, just pick the right strategy, and guess what? It's got him in the track position. Here's the tough thing, keeping it. Because if we get another long run, we may see a lot of changes in terms of your front runners, as we've seen the trends. The thing has been, cautions breed cautions has popped up more so this run.
Still under the yellow flag as the caution is out. Let's Justin and I give you a full field rundown as we're working on lap number 60. Working now lap 58 completed. Dan West Jr. is the leader. Carl Burke is second. Brian Reynolds is third. Dan Lowther fourth, and Caden Anderson the top 5. Also just had a sequence of pit stops. Chris White is in 6th, in car 6, defending champion. Sean Brightsman is 7th. Lake Peterson now back to 8th. 9th is Stephen O'Hare, and 10th is now Cole Raz.
11th spot on track is Casey Duncan. He started in 11th earlier tonight with Dylan Huffine in 12th. Then 13th spot, BJ Tidrick in his Ford Mustang. Brian Barnes is back to 14th after being involved in some trouble early. James Viney's in 15th with John Ottenbacher 16th. Russ Lumberg is in 17th. Toby Ritters, Chris Camary, Casey Garber rounded the lead lap cars and in the top 20.
Lights off on the pace car. We'll come back for the restart when the field comes back to the Geico restart zone here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And round out the rest of the top 20 in the top field. Rundown includes Kevin Smith 21st, Troy Daggett 22nd, Tyler Kim 23rd, Jeff Stabnow was 24th, Ron Hunter 25th, 26th is Aaron Cooper, Frank Harris 27th, Justin Yee 28th, and one car did not start the race, BJ Duvall. Hopefully he gets to feeling better. He's had a little feeling a little bit under the weather. Justin, it's good to have you back again, man. I know you said you definitely weren't feeling good last week, so it's good to have Samuel fill in for you. Of course, we took off on Thursday for the Week 13 update for some of the new amenities that have been added to the iRacing server and simulation, like the sparks, like the broken tires and the wheels coming off and the damaged model and more. Ready now with 100 laps to go officially when the field comes back to the Geico restart zone out of turn number 4, inside lane. West Jr. gone. He's the first car to take off, and we're back underway into turn number 1. Burke, Reynolds, Lowther, Anderson behind him in turn 1.
Side by side for the battle for third. Reynolds bottom. Lowther tries to squeeze. Keeps it on the high side with a run. Here comes Anderson to make it 3 wide on the bottom. Anderson tries to go deeper on the brakes. Reynolds backs out of it midway through the corner. Anderson tries to back out too. Both of them slow each other up in the battle for 4th. Anderson clears Reynolds for 4th.
And Chris White all the while to the inside thinking, where are you guys going to go? Which way, which lane, which top, which bottom? I got to follow. Instead, he loses ground on those cars by Anderson in turn 1.
Anderson trying to use the diamond line for turn 2. Lowther next on the chopping block for the battle for 3rd. Anderson gets the run, gets to the quarter panel, gets a bit of a sidetrack into 3. Anderson dead even on the brakes with Lowther. Gets the preferred line on the edge of the rumble strips to jump up one more spot.
Under 100 laps to go now here. 18 laps away to halfway at Gateway. The battle now going on for the 4th position and for 3rd. And Anderson just took it. Now he's going after the legend Carl Burke. He's now trying to go after the leader Dan West Jr., who's got about a half a second lead in turn 2.
Burke slows up coming off of 2. Anderson gets the launch. Anderson tries to set things up. Cole Raz of note also shuffling for 6, but Anderson looking to dice it up for 2nd. Burke opens up the door, gives them a huge amount of space along the bottom, a car length and a half difference as Anderson clears.
Clears down the back straightaway. West, Anderson are down back to turn number 1 to go. Single file, things kind of calming down for just a few moments. Good separation, except for this battle heated up now for 6. Brian Reynolds hooking up with Dylan Huffine. Sean Brightsman, they're after the defending champion Chris White going down into turn number 3.
Huffine's trying to use the Chevy at the bottom of the track, goes for a deeper send. Reynolds tries to give space, bobbles it up the track to the 3rd line. Dylan Huffine to the edge of the rumble strips. Watches the 12, check up to give space.
Back to the start-finish line. Huffines will now get back in front of Brian Reynolds and Sean Brightsman now looking at those 2 cars start selling away by 2 or 3 car lengths. Raz now trying to battle with Anderson, Lowther, and more. The 10 climbing back into the top 5. All this goes on with Huffines now looking at the back door of the machine of White as they go into turn number 3.
Wentz plus 14, mind you, but Raz amongst the big movers, so is Duncan trying to keep the bottom going after dropping a lot early.
Yeah, keep an eye on Kyle. Well, got him a little loose there. Duncan, a little bump there to Lake Peterson. Somehow, some way, they hold it together. No harm, no foul. There's Brian Barnes. Backmeyer to the top 15 for the man that came into tonight's race with the points lead, Justin. Had to fight for it earlier a few weeks ago to get it back after he lost it to Cole Raz. Raz didn't show up for the Cup race at Sonoma last week. That gave a good opportunity for Brian Barnes to get back in the points lead. And now he's been in a mine fire all night long, a minefield of competition and mired in the back on attrition. And now, I think he's used his fast repair, being patient, going into turn number 1. Keep an eye on that blue number 4.
Big Bobble meanwhile in the battle going on up towards the mid-pack. That is Lake Peterson shuffled up in the 9. Peterson really struggling. He took 2 tires during his last pit stop. The 2 tires are going. The 2 tires are nearly gone for Lake Peterson.
Tires are going on the number 9. That meaning we'll have to pit immediately, if not soon. Hopefully, he will get a yellow flag. The crossing of the fingers, though, Justin, is he will not be the yellow flag as they go into turn number 1.
Battle for the race lead on into turn 3, though. Anderson has a run on West Jr. West Jr. gives it up. Anderson back to the point. Anderson with a 1-second advantage over Cole Raz on his cycle. West Jr. will stay to the back bumper off of turn 4.
And while that goes on, here comes now Dan West Jr. now trying to come after Anderson. Anderson back to the top spot. They flip-flopped for positions earlier. Now Anderson starting to show his momentum, but not by much. But not by much. As West trying to come back around into turn number 3. Anderson up the hill. They walk out of turn number 4.
What a battle, to say the least. Keep an eye on Cole Raz. He's within the draft.
Anderson cut it to 2 car lengths now. West behind him. Raz now to 3rd. Super Friends behind Dan West Jr. He's in the middle as they now work off turn number 2, Justin, to the backstretch.
Raz with a big gaggle of an advantage over the gaggle for about 6th. Chris White, Carl Burke, Sean Brightsman, Stephen O'Hare, all covered under a blanket. Entering turn 3, Brightsman on the bottom. Burke gives a bit of space. Burke squeezes back. Burping the throttle as the 46 and the 53s. They have a burping contest with the throttle off 4.
Whoa, did you see O'Hare drift up? Getting up behind the back of the machine of Burke. Opens the door to the inside now. Brightsman follows. They're door to door, side by side. O'Hare thought of throwing it in there. He couldn't get it done out of turn 2. Now he's sideways. Brightsman sideways. O'Hare will now capitalize to the outside lane. They're door to 3.
O'Hare trying to get the run. Brightsman tries to send it in. Has a bit of wheel hop. Reynolds hits the curbing. To the bottom goes O'Hare with the diamond. O'Hare forced to check up, still side by side for 7th.
All of this goes on down the front straightaway. Under 10 laps to go to halfway here. Still a long way to go at Gateway at Worldwide Technology Raceway, round 13 of the Northwest Racing Series Cup Cars. Monday night, off of turn number 2, Brightsman clears. Also O'Hare, Burke there on the outside. Tindrick now looking for something on the inside as he makes the run to turn 3.
Tindrick tries to set things up to move up to 7th spot. Burke lets the slow roll come into play. Can't get back on the gas. Big checkup for Burke.
Sideways there for Burke for just a moment as he looked like it was dirt tracking it off turn number 4. All the while, this is the best battle on the racetrack. It is for 8th, 9th, 10th. Reynolds also trying to close into that battle on Burke. That goes on off turn number 2.
More bobbling for Burke as Burke starting to signal a problem over the radio. Burke tries to keep it up towards the top line as Reynolds dives in underneath. Burke giving plenty of space on the older tires as the newer driver tires continue to charge ahead.
74 of 160 laps down with a flash under the flag stand this time by here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Here comes now Garber. Duncan now. Garber climbing back up. Vining also in this mix. All these cars trying to come after now Carl Burke, who got a little loose there out of turn number 2.
Burke hits the wall. Duncan clears. Here comes Vining to the inside. Vining goes later on the brakes. Tries to let it roll. Burke able to hold on for now. No significant damage for the 53.
Step right up, come on in, and that's exactly what those drivers did of Tindrick, Reynolds, Duncan. Getting past Burke, now Vining looking to the inside. He'll carry Garber with him and Brian Barnes also as they go into turn 1. Meanwhile, this battle heating up. Sean Brightsman after Chris White after Stephen O'Hare, and all the while, Tindrick now trying to get this to Brightsman's door. And they go to the back straightaway to turn number 3. Racing action everywhere now on lap 75.
That battle still making its way through 3 and 4. White trying to get the ground back up on O'Hare. Can't close it up off of 4.
Off of turn 4 to the front straightaway. There you see the Willie's Addictive Barbecue sponsored entry on the defending series champion of that Toyota. Been an up and down year for the defending series champion of Chris White, but right now a pretty solid run. He's in 7th. Meanwhile, there is the drivers of Garber, Vining, Barnes, Burke, top 15. That battle heated up, and also Audenbacher and Ritters are coming after him into turn 3.
Barnes tries to sail it on in towards Vining. Can't close it up. Burke pushes way up the hill, way up the track. To the inside goes Stabnow.
Run straight away. Another lap. And all the while, there you see Jeff Stabnow, multiple laps down for the 24, 15 laps down, still staying on track in this race.
Trouble back straight away. Reynolds hits the wall. Reynolds with suspension damage. Tries to gather it back up. Still runs the bottom. Reynolds to the grass. Reynolds to the pit entry through the grass. Trying to slide it through after contact to the outside wall. Coming off of turn 2.
Somehow, some way, the Jack Daniels Chevrolet number 12 of Brian Reynolds badly damaged. A shower of sparks coming from the back end of the chassis of the car as the Camaro comes onto the pit lane, but no caution flag. Justin Prince as we approach halfway.
Major break, not going the way of Reynolds with the mandatory repairs. Meanwhile, Chris White trying to get a spot back on Tindrick after some shuffling. Brightsman, despite the older rubber, looking to roll the bottom. Toyota on Toyota battling. Coming up for 8th, coming off of 4.
Brightsman, White outside, almost got into the outside safer wall barrier. He protects it now. They're door to door for that spot. This is going on for position number 8 in turn 1.
White trying to give a squeeze. Brightsman trying to wrap it around. Still with the pole is White. White clears on by once more in the 6th. Brightsman back to single file to settle things down for 3 and 4. Coming up towards halfway within the next lap and a third from here.
Yeah, 1 1/4 lap away from coming to the cross flags and get ready for the second half of the race. As 6, 7 caution flags so far in this race. A lot of drivers behind the wall or several laps down, but there is some of the best battling here now. Sean Brightsman, Chris White, this going on again for 8th and 9th in the top 10. Duncan back up in there, and there's contact between White and Brightsman. Brightsman bobs to the inside. Here comes Duncan making a move to go to that spot away to take it away from Brightsman going to 3.
A major save once more for him. Carl Burke has parked the 53. Burke is done for the night.
Oh, man.
Halfway through this time.
That's heartbreak for Carl Burke. You know, high hopes for the driver of that 53, Justin, because he was doing really, really good as we're halfway through the event. 80 laps in, 80 to go. Anderson, Raz, West, Huffines, O'Hare, Lowther, Tidrick, White, Duncan, Brightsman, your top 10. So far, 7 caution flags have halted this race in the 4 lead changes of the event so far. And there's Duncan getting past White. What a drive for the, if you will, Justin, throwback. I know it's Dunkin' Donuts on the car, but a throwback to the Western Auto days of Darrell Waltrip's racing career.
He's driven through this with this paint scheme throughout the season, and it makes sense for the sponsorship with the last name Duncan. Because
I love it.
Well, he probably loves it too, because how difficult is it in some cases to find a sponsor with your exact same last name or nearly exact same spelling? Meanwhile, he looks to Duncan run away from the battle for 9th. Brightsman outside of Chris White. White lets by the 46. Brightsman pays the favor back by visiting the outside wall nearly. Just keeps it off the safer barrier. Chris White gets the spot back.
And all the while, Garber back down to his inside. They almost made contact as they work past the stripe inside of the racetrack. Put down Kenneth Garber to that spot after Brightsman. They're also trying to go after Chris White. That goes on into 1 and 2.
Garber clears as a result of the mistake from Brightsman the previous time around. Garber, amongst those recovering from trouble early, back up to the 9th position. Trying to settle things down, but Brightsman, with the older tires, remember with the fuel-only strategy, really paying the price now as he slides up the hill. Also up the hill is Barnes. Barnes way up the track, nearly hitting the back end of Stab now.
A roller coaster ride for the number 4 Popsicle Toyota, the points leader coming into this race. Of course, the Brian Barnes now somehow, some way, trying to stay in the hunt of things as he's also got the lap car. Jeff Stab now in front of him. Teammate to Sean Brightsman as they work off the back straightaway.
Brightsman's got a problem. The tire's going away. Same fashion as Burke. Very tight on entry. Brightsman keeps it up high. Barnes tries to find a way around next for 11th. Brightsman slides up. Barnes jumps through the barn door. Squeeze back from Brightsman as a thank you.
And Brightsman up on the outside, hugs back under the back end of the spoiler of the machine of Barnes. Back to the corner. All the while, it's Anderson and Raz, 1 and 2. Dan West Jr. third. This battle continues. Brightsman sideways. Fishtailed sideways again. Goes to the infield grass. Kicks up all 4 tires off the ground. Drops to the infield. Comes back on racetrack. No caution. A thrill show for Sean Brightsman, the Puyallup, Washington, now Tucson, Arizona native. And I'll tell you what, though, Sean, I'll tell you, Justin, that could have been bad for Sean Brightsman. You got to wonder how much damage he did to those cars.
Remember, that was something touched upon. Not just the bottom of the car, but the dirt impact as well. So Brightsman, on top of that slide, with the tires now being all over the track, may have significant chassis damage, as he's now dropped to 16th position. Meanwhile, off 3 and 4, Wilder and Duncan battle it for 7th.
And I tell you what, got to give bad props also to Jeff Stab now. Even though he's multiple laps down, somehow, some way, the 24 was able to miss the car that was just wicked upset of Sean Brightsman, his teammate, and keep it in the straight and narrow. As right now, Duncan, right now, is in 7th in car 17, trying to make a run after O'Hare. There is Tidrick also in his miss. This goes on in the top 10 as they go to turn 3.
Duncan, one of the hard chargers on the track, trying to take advantage of being one of the quickest cars on the track. 36.9 last time by while battling. The leader's running in the 36.7s. Cole Raz 2 seconds back, and the leader Anderson is in the 36.5s, but struggling to close up with traffic. To the front straightaway to you.
Back into turn number 1. There you see Chris White up on the outside lane. Of course, that lap car, multiple laps down a stab down. We mentioned there's Brian Barnes. Caution is out. Trouble on the speedway.
I think it's in front of you.
Sean Brightsman, Justin, has lost it. You had to wonder if it was going to happen with everything that happened to him in the last couple of laps. And now, finally, he has looped that car down on the start-finish line. Here's a look on the replay. Yellow flag number 8 of the night, Justin. And the first one after halfway here at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Give him credit, kept the car from getting significant damage, but right here, overcorrects to the right. And at this point, he's just along for the ride. What a job for Brightsman to not collect anyone else. Chris Camary might have slid the tires, though, trying to avoid him.
What a job by Brian Barnes, mind you, when all that was going on, to quickly make evasive action and miss the 46. The guy that's right now with a bullseye on his chest is being the proverbial point leader. And I got a feeling, Justin, the entire cavalry from Super Friends on back are coming down to the pit lane. And here they come.
Oh, near contact, trying to make sure they didn't pass the pace car or anyone on the track. Huff finds past somebody. The entry side by side for the run up to the boxes. Raz taking the lead before they even pit.
This will be interesting. As right now, Cole Raz, Kaden Anderson, all coming to their pit stalls. 4 tires and fuel, it's looking like, for these drivers in the first 6 pit stall boxes. Work being done. Jack, work done now on the left side. Now they're on the right, or they were on the right side. Now they're on the left side. Here comes now Peterson coming in. Dan West Jr. now exiting on pit road. And look at this. Super Friends. Cole Raz beat Anderson off first there, Justin.
Taking advantage of the checkup effect. Of note, Huff finds is out of the black flag cleared. O'Hare and Tidrick did not pit this caution. What a surprise. I think O'Hare might be coming in, though, through 3. Yes, so O'Hare and Tidrick electing to come in the second time around instead to drop to the back of the pack. Raz to the lead.
Justin, did Sean Brightsman not pit either? Is he trying to save track position and staying out there?
I think in the case of Brightsman,
he's in 18th.
That's a wave around situation. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
That's to keep him in the lead lap.
You're exactly in the ball game.
Or more so, make sure he's within the ballpark. Because if he pits this caution and has to take the tires, or does take the tires, you never know when the next caution's going to come out. That's the major thing. Same case for Brian Reynolds, who, remember, had to pit under green to take a fast repair and took tires. So, guess what? Guess what, for in the case of Brightsman, yes, he would have been a lap down, and the only one lap down, but that's not a guarantee in case he's involved in more trouble.
91 of 160 laps here tonight at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Justin Prince, Wesley Outlet here with you. Charles Wooten on the board in our production studios. Live Sim Racing Rocket Media, also with the Community Radio Network. And man, oh man, a good one here. I have to say, Justin, I mean, it's had its share of cautions, but the racing has been very, very entertaining. Maybe not for the front of the lead, besides the couple of lead changes we've seen, but in the back of the pack, these guys are going after it.
Yeah, a lot of busy battling, to say the very least, up towards the very tippy point of the field. And in turn, Anderson has been the quickest driver in the long run. The main thing that may pop up here, though, is how difficult will it be for Anderson to make a pass back on Cole Raz, who's leading his first laps of the race? How does Dan West Jr. fare out off this restart? So many question marks for a few of the drivers who are in the picture now for this restart, who have been biding their time for this chance to be equal footing for the restart.
Yeah, we'll certainly see what happens here as the lights are off on the pace car, and Super Friends are right there alongside one another, ready to go. A couple of drivers that compete not only in pro and super late models in the Pacific Northwest in reality, but also virtual here. They've got 3 wins for Cole Raz, 2 wins for Kaden Anderson, Cup and Truck, and they're ready to battle. Ready for the restart on lap number 92 Working lap 93, back to the Geico restart zone. They're in the box. They send it off at a 1 with Raz crossing the stripe. Anderson will pull right alongside. Up the outside comes Dan West Jr. He'll put a block there on the machine of that driver behind him of Dylan Huffines, and they work into 1 and 2.
Both of them nearly hit the wall off of 2, trying to get the run Anderson. Still single file in the top 4. Barnes trying to hold off a party for 6th. Lowther high in 7th spot. Duncan bottom side. Duncan can't get it to roll quite yet, side by side for 7th.
And look at now, James Viney up on the outside lane. Got a run on Clifford. He's got a run on another car. One car is in the fence down the inside retaining wall. Shower of sparks for Stephen O'Hare. The Beaver State Racing American touch-up Ford number 41 in trouble. Will he be able to get back to the pit lane? Badly damaged. Sparking moving up the racetrack. Reynolds and Lundberg trying to clear by him into turn 1 and 2.
They both do. Suspension damage and sparks flying for the 41. It's back to pit stop with Brightsman zipping on by. Stab now tries to get underneath them, gets close. O'Hare forced to miss the entryway as Lake Peterson serves a black flag for his exit off pit road under caution. Coming to the 1 to go.
And somehow, some way, it is not going to work out for the driver, Stephen O'Hare. He cannot get back around. He's got to make another lap. That means another lap of sparks and damage, and maybe even more than what he already has on the car, Justin, as he works into turn 2.
This is a dangerous situation for O'Hare. Thankfully, no one else around him, but the gaggle is building up off of 4 for the race lead. Anderson on the doorstep. Knock, knock.
Knock, knock, and here comes also Cheerio Dan West Jr. He's ready to make it a 3-car battle for the lead, and somehow, some way, they are also closing in on that 41 of Stephen O'Hare. Hopefully, O'Hare can get down to the bottom of their turn road here in turn number 3 before they get there. Down the back stretch. There you see him in view. Raz holding on as they go to the third turn.
They're able to enter the pit lane. Peterson still serving the penalty currently. Anderson to the back bumper of Raz, trying to set things up by 4.
And O'Hare did make it safely onto the pit lane as now these drivers work past start finish. The game goes on. It's Raz, it's Anderson, Raz, Anderson. Who wants it more? We're closing in on lap 100 and triple digits at Gateway. They work off turn 2 for the lead.
Still looking to set things up with West Jr. in the popcorn seat for the battle up at the front. 1, 2, 3. Single file off to 3. Huffines looking to join the fray. Huffines, a rare start for the 20, is flying this run.
Raz, Anderson, West Jr. There they are. 2-car links back is Dylan Huffines, who had problems earlier in the Taco Bell Liv Moss entry. He's now moved into 4th. Garber right behind him in the back in black 94. It's the stealth mode. He's in the top 5, and they're off turn 2.
Top 5 looking to pull away from Barnes and Company. Raz still leading in the clean space by 2/10 into 3. Huffines gaining ground on West Jr. for the battle for 3rd. West Jr. slow rolls it to the entry. Huffines and the Team Ramrod machine loses ground out 4.
Start finish line.
Oh, and a
Huffines.
change.
Garber, change for the lead. Anderson and Raz going at it again. Robout Raz thought about it, didn't he, there, Justin, out of turn 1.
Raz wants it back. Raz checked up down the straightaway noticed before that run to turn 1, Wesley. An interesting decision for Raz, giving Anderson the clean air. Clipping the grass is Anderson. Both of them up the hill, coming out before.
I would say that you got to be careful. Obviously, you don't want to clip the grass, Justin, but for sure, those rumble strips, those turtles, they call them now in turn number 1 and 2, and the 3 and 4 in the corners. You can have them be your friend for a little bit to help you, but if you take too much advantage of them, they can cost you and make you lose control of that car. The leaders are off too.
Especially since the more you hit that grass, the more likely it causes your car to snap around. Anderson low again, clips the curb this time. Pushing up the track, still gains ground on Raz, and West Jr. off of 4.
Off of turn 4, a lot of cloud cover now settling in here as we also put triple digits on the scoreboard. 100 laps in, with 60 laps to go. The leaders are in turn 1 with Anderson up in front by at least a quarter of a second there.
Calm of the storm starting to pop up for some as Raz tries to keep within range of Anderson. West Jr. dropping back to 6/10, coming into 3 for the entry. Pulling away now from Dylan Huffines by about nearly half a second. Big checkup for the top 2. Both of them still gain the ground off 4.
Working off turn number 4, back to start finish. They hug the outside, safer wall barrier. Past the Geico restart zone and by the start finish line. They're already back into turn 1 with Anderson still out by a half a car length in the corner.
Everyone using the third line just above the second seam. Getting the pole though. Again, Anderson. Anderson, remember, in the long runs all throughout the night, up to a 1/10 of a second quicker in most of these runs. Huffines gaining ground, meanwhile, on KC Garber. Top 5 separated by 2 seconds. Top 6, 2.7 seconds on track.
And I would say, Justin, somehow, someway, keep an eye on Brian Barnes. He's also 2.5 seconds back in 6th, but he's right back up in the crosshair of things. And just a moment ago, we saw Tidrick and Lundberg and Brightsman. That was going on for position in the top 15. But here comes Brian Barnes now, trying to make it a 6-car battle in that pack for the lead. Lowther now behind him as they go into turn 3.
Off and towards the corner, gap about 3 car lengths between 5th and 6th. Barnes trying to use the second line. First line for Garber. Garber forced to check up. Meanwhile, speaking of checkups, to the front.
Anderson, Raz, that battle continues. Going back to the lead, though. Dan West Jr. behind them. Ready to pounce like a coiled cobra on these 2 prey. If they make one wrong slip, he's going to become the predator. He's to the back straightaway. Cut the lead now to about 3/4 of a second between those 2 cars, and they go into turn number 3.
Reason for the check and preferred 2 before. Watch the line. Raz trying to go to the third line. Had contact from behind from West Jr. No contact this time, off 4.
Back down the front straightaway. It's still going to be this now single file conga line up on the outside lane. Nobody jumping out of line just yet. Now they hug the middle of the racetrack. They all stay within the line of one another and somehow, someway trying to find the air. Dan West Jr. looking for that as you're on board with him. The Shelton Washington driver trying to somehow, Justin, clear and get that clean air to get around the Raz in 2nd out of 4.
Raz really struggling to match the line. Still, good run for the 55 off 4.
A good run continues as they work their way back across start finish line into 1 and 2 now. Anderson and Raz now getting some company with Dan West Jr. He is reeling them in all the while the battle goes on for 2nd. It is Anderson pulling away on the back straightaway, Justin.
Anderson trying to stretch it out for the race lead with Raz starting to struggle. Last time by about a 1/10 and a half picked up by Anderson. West Jr. looking to find a way to take advantage of this. Going with the bottom roll. Closes up a car length. 2 car lengths off of 4, the difference.
And all the while, this goes on with Anderson, Raz, West, Huffines, and Garber. They are single file back into turn number 1. We're also at the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds, some network identification. This is iRacing on LSRTV. You're not going to miss anything as we go side by side, and we'll be back on the Community Radio Network in a moment.
You're listening to the Community Radio Network. Follow us via social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CRN Sports. Plus, listen to other games at 87.5 FM or join us anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. We are CRN.
This is our series,
So many different pieces that you have to watch out for.
where the stakes are always higher,
$300,000.
where virtual meets reality,
How bad do you want it? They're wasting no time getting at it.
where the best thrive and the flawless win. This is the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series.
Ready to bring this one to the finish. Welcome back to coverage on the Community Radio Network and live sim racing. iRacing on LSRTV. Justin Prince, Wesley Outlet, Charles Wooten doing a phenomenal job with all of the replays and the action that is going on. And there's a battle going on for the lead between Anderson and Raz, and West is on the outside looking in 3 and 4.
Side by side with Raz on the bottom. Anderson tries to pinch it. Side by side for the front stretch.
Down the front straightaway. Gliv the lead now to the outside lane of Anderson. Raz powers back to the inside. Inside, outside, and all the while, DWJ is coming. They're at a snail's pace now, trying to
back up the track right in front of the race leaders.
Kedrick, Yingling, Ford. Look at this. Wow, Peterson got lucky.
Couple drivers did, and then you have drivers like Ottenbacher nearly chased all the way to the grass as Tidrick tried to move ahead.
And the caution out with under 50 laps to go. Justin, you think they're pitting? We just saw him pit probably less than 20 laps ago.
Camary just cut out of the access road into the grass. What is the 15 doing?
And that might be a penalty.
I think Camary spun it on entry for the pit lane just now. As Lucky Dog goes to Brightsman, he was lapped right before the battle, but look at this. Brightsman, or rather Camary, near full speed, gets to the brakes, loops it into the grass, and then decides, you know what? Let's just cut through the whole field right in front of Peterson.
Right in front of Lake Peterson, mind you. Wow.
Uh-huh. And nearly into...
So here's my question, though, Justin. Is he going to get a penalty for that because he didn't really, per se, make a commitment that he was coming down to the pit lane?
No indication from the sim, not yet from race control. We'll see. Lucky for some of the drivers, though, to miss him. He was 15th and is still 15th, first car lap down, as Anderson Raz West Jr. might be in for another strong battle here. Traffic was a major factor, though, in the last battle. How does that play out this time? We'll have to see.
And remember, they pitted less than 20 laps ago, or less than 15 laps ago, the last time we had a caution flag, so these drivers did not pit. Because I honestly think, Justin, it was going to be monkey see, monkey do. If Anderson would have came in, I think everybody would have followed him. If he wasn't going to come in and he stayed on the racetrack as he did, then they're going to stay right behind him as well.
Indeed, and that will be a major talking point is, will that monkey see, monkey do continue? And you have to remember, even though drivers are inside the fuel window from this point forward, the thought is pretty simple, as we can see. Hold on to the set of tires. You never know when you are going to need them. And most likely, whoever keeps the fresh tires with enough time to work for that spot for the race lead might win this race.
Hayden Anderson, Yakima, Washington native. The driver that is currently leading the way. Cole Raz right there with him. Anderson, 2 wins on the year for Northwest Cup. Northwest Cup, 3 wins for Cole Raz. We mentioned Dan West Jr., the flip-flop crazy season he's had as we wrap up here tonight at Worldwide Technology. Get ready to go to the Nashville Super Speedway next week. And I'll tell you what, just with Dan West Jr., somehow, some way, Justin, trying to salvage a decent finish. And if he can take advantage of these super friends racing one another and go for a win, he's going to go for it. And Dylan Huffines also.
Exactly. You never know what's going to happen since these drivers have made contact in the past. They know, though, that they battle on the racetrack in the real world in some cases. You don't want to end up making enemies with one another, depending on if you see each other in the real world too. And having that advantage of being, well, technically teammates can be a major thing when it comes to super friends such as themselves here, as they're already playing a little bit of who wants to lead coming to the restart.
They are. Look at them. And I wonder what Dan West Jr. and Dylan Huffines were thinking alongside behind them. And Justin, how about this, man? Kenneth Garber, solid night for him in the top 5. And Brian Barnes, through the bad luck that he had in the beginning, missing incidents, missing spun cars, somehow still on the lead lap, the points leader in 6th. This is why he's doing it. Consistency at its finest as the field comes back to the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air as the field takes the starting line. It's 45 laps to go, and the leader is Anderson into turn number 1 and 2.
Raz trying to dime in the corner to get the spot. Tries to get underneath Anderson, can't get there. Near contact, the battle for third. Huffines just avoids the wall. Raz tries to get the pole. No send yet from Raz into turn 3. Anderson plays defense as both of them go hard on the diamond. Near contact for fourth as Barnes is shuffled up to the marbles.
They went up the racetrack a little bit as they worked on the exit of the corner. Now Barnes under attack by Duncan. Duncan shuts the door on him. One car a little loose there for a second in the back. It's on the Bacher, and they're going to go 3 wide with Briar Reynolds back in the battle. The middle car in the turn 1.
Contact with Dan Lowther in the Hornet's Nest. Diving in the corner as a result. Reynolds. Lowther off the gas. 3 wide with White and O'Hare. O'Hare tips on by. Shuts the door across Lowther's face. White tries to diamond it on in. Craziness at the edge of the top 10 as Lowther pushes up the bottom.
And defending Cup Series champion Chris White now from Rochester. Washington back in the battle to the inside. Peterson in trouble. He smacks the wall behind him from the rear view of the camera. No caution yet. That goes on into turn 1 and 2.
Pearson able to straighten it out as a result of what happened there. White up to 10th, pulling away from 1. Dan Lowther, Toby Ritters and company. Meanwhile, the battle up in the race lead coming through 3 and 4 within 2 car lengths. Top 3 looking to fray it out.
Off of turn number 4 to the start-finish line. It is Anderson, it is Raz, it is Huffines now to third. West on the outside looking in. He's still in the top 5 and 1.2 seconds back. The points leader Barnes with 43 to go off turn 2.
Down the back, Raz looking to try and sort it together. Huffines losing ground off the corner and through the entry of 3. Both of them matching line for line. Raz trying to roll it faster. Still can't get there as Anderson says hello.
Down the start-finish. Flashing under the start-finish line. Half a car length now. Anderson, Raz. Now we got a battle going on as Reynolds and Barnes go out at caution to the speedway. Trouble out of turn number 4 right near the Geico restart zone. Dan Lowther spins. Everyone else. Oh, is that Jeff Stab now? Briar Reynolds. Chris Camary also collected a multi-car accident. What went wrong? Yellow flag out for the 10th time here at Gateway.
An absolute parking lot as Dan Lowther wants to trigger with Toby Ritters. And we've seen this a few times tonight. Robert gets contact from behind. Ends up getting loose across the middle of the track. And here's the thing. Nowhere for a lot of these drivers to go as it becomes Pinball City off the side of Toby Ritters.
Yeah, you know, they talk about how... Oh, my, I'm hearing Rex again here. Look at this.
Wow.
Oh. Wow. And did that happen, Justin, because the car is already badly damaged and then he just turned the car in the wall?
And tire spin 2 up through the first and second gears, yeah. But I'm really more curious about what happened with the Ritter stack because that collected another 3 cars, including ended Staffnell's 9th. And
from
remember,
another angle.
Yeah.
No, we're pit road. Oh, we're going back. Watch this. From another angle.
Oh.
Pit stops are happening. We'll keep you up to date with them. We're going to stay with you here and show you another replay from another angle of what happened here, Justin, to bring out the 10th caution on the front stretch here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Here's another shot at it. Ritters gave a bump to Lowther. Lowther tagged him back. Not intentional, mind you, Justin, but then Ritters got collected in it. Monkey see, monkey do, as we said.
But then the major danger, the slide down the track right where 3 different cars chose that line.
Yeah, man. And all the while, you can't blame Toby Ritters. Clifford was trying to do what he needed to do to get by around Dan Lowther. Gave him a little bump there to the inside left rear quarter panel. There was nothing per se to rough him up, Justin, just a racing deal. But then when Lowther lost control, instead of, I think maybe Ritters thought he was going to drift up, and instead Ritters, after contact with, or Lowther after contact with Ritters, came back down and hooked the right side of Ritter's car. And along for the ride, the 23 went.
Absolutely. And now, as a result, Ritters did get some of the damage repaired, but has massive damage. Somehow is still running. But the pit strategy has changed, Wesley.
Yes.
Because most of the field pit, except for 5, Reynolds, Barnes, Garber, Duncan, and Brightsman. Reynolds and Brightsman had taken waiver rounds, remember, a couple cautions ago.
Yeah, by the way, do that again, because it sounded like you were thumping your hand on the desk as you were describing that, but the top 5 that did not pit. So, yes, Reynolds, Barnes, Garber, Duncan, Brightsman sounds like a law firm, and those are your 5 that did not come to the pit lane. And then you got Caden Anderson, Dylan Huffines, Dan West Jr. Honestly, Justin, let's be honest, under 40 laps to go. For the first time tonight, we are going to see the scenario of fresh new tires against worn out used tires.
And for a few of the drivers, I think that will be difficult. Barnes, Garber, and Duncan. I think this is a decent play, though, for Reynolds and Brightsman. Not too much of a difference tire-wise, and as we've seen earlier on tonight, they have a decent amount of hold-up for about 20 laps or so. By the end of the race, though, depending on the trends, that's where concerns are going to come in. You know where also is concerns going to come in? Caution flag or 2 more, it becomes a time race for the 2 hours even, because we're approaching 20 minutes on the clock.
Are you serious? Wow. Oh, my. Justin, I didn't even think about that. And what would this be? The second race, I think, in 3 weeks where the time has expired?
If it becomes that case, yes. If it goes green, I think we make it. If it has an air caution or 2, it becomes about time.
I'm trying to remember which race it was, Justin, that we worked where the time expired the event. Was it Texas?
Yeah.
Texas was the event. Yes, it was. It was the event before the road course race in Sonoma, and the event was just caution field, and that was the outcome. The race expired because of time. Ooh, this is going to be close. Cutting it to the bitter bone, if you will. 21 minutes to go. 37 laps to go, but the field comes back to the Geico restart zone. Lights are off for the pace car. Justin, I guess, mind you, this is where it's time to pucker up, Buttercup, and try to take this one to the house. Stay out of trouble.
Very critical, this restart coming up, especially with the strategies mixed up. Here we go.
Field 2x2x2. 37 laps to go. Oh, they're bunched up behind them, spinning tires. Reynolds will go. Mixture of old tires, new tires, and that's the ingredients for a perfect storm. They go into turn 1 with Reynolds in the lead.
Reynolds looks to run. Barnes up the hill. Caution. Wreck in the middle of the track. Vining amongst those. Another incident as we're back in our yellow. White, isn't it?
No, it's Chris White, and I think it's Kenneth Garber also involved in that accident over there, Justin. Oh, my goodness. Yellow flag out for the 11th time.
I think it was James Vining the trigger because somebody missed the braking mark, and it may have been the Catman.
And you saw the tire spin. Remember, I hit on that. And then we saw everybody playing bonsai, or playing checkup, if you will. And look at this going into the corner. Oh, is that Vining? Vining did get into the back of White. Oh, when Peterson's involved. Daggett's involved, Justin. We saw that at the top of turn 2.
Daggett gets a black flag. Kevin Smith a black flag from the trouble. But yeah, Vining just went a little bit deeper than everybody else on that entry with the stack-up effect. He hit the brakes so hard, I think, Wesley, that's just enough for him to kick around and slide around and spin it out. And now, put this race into a time factor.
But Justin, I have a question. Did that accident, do you think, start because of the field on the front row almost playing wheel spin with one another? There was a lot of tire spin from the first 2 or 3 rows, and then that started the accordion effect of that wreck, do you think, on back when they went in the 1?
I think partly, absolutely, because if they had a fully clean restart, that might have been more spread out, where Vining might have been able to get away with the deeper break. But because everyone was backing up and trying to back up their braking entry in turn, Wesley. I think that's where that major stab of the brakes came in, we've seen for Vining.
And now, in addition to trying to get to the finish, we are now racing officially against the clock. It is 19 minutes remaining in this event, with now 35 laps to go of a 160-lap scheduled distance race. Not even counting the opportunity for 2 attempts at overtime. You're probably going to throw that out the window because, Justin, what happened? If the time expires, they basically cycle back around. If it's under caution or whenever, they throw the white flag and the race is over. The CRN won to go and it's finished.
Again, that's going to be something that drivers will have to keep an eye on in what is their F1 box. And that is where it shows the exact time left in terms of the race session. And that will be the major measure of how long do these drivers have. And these drivers have about under 20 minutes to work with, play 38 laps. That is a tight window in the first place. And for some, like Anderson, Huffines, and company, that might be a panic, because if you spend a caution period such as this under yellow for about 3 to 5 laps per caution, about 5 minutes per yellow, guess what? It's Reynolds' race to win.
So, obviously, I don't think anybody's pitting. That ain't happening, Justin Prince. Nobody's pitting.
You're not getting the track position back if you pit.
Yeah, this is what you got. And how about Brian Reynolds, Justin? I mean, this guy was beaten, battered, banged, and bruised about the first half of the race, and he's right back in the catbird seat to win this event now in the 12.
Which is unbelievable, to say the very least. But the major thing is, Reynolds, at the luck of the timing of the caution, remember, was on that wave, which put him in the prime position in the retrospect with how the cautions have fared out, to be able to pull off this strategy. Him and Brightsman specifically. The thing is, when it comes to Brightsman is struggling to try and execute that same strategy, had the tire spin on the last restart.
Man, this is going to be fun. We're glad you're along here. 33 laps to go. Lights are off on the pace car. There will be less than 16 minutes remaining in race time. Race sim time, 16 minutes remaining. Justin, give or take, what is it, close to 30 seconds a lap here around Gateway, if they
34.
can make it to the finish. 34 seconds. So, oh man, I still think they're going to be at least 2 or 3 laps shy, maybe. We get another caution, I think it's over. We're going to run the clock down. And does that change the complexion of the race with the way you think these guys are going to drive, for that matter also, Justin?
Makes them more aggressive, put simply.
More aggressive. Justin Prince in Canada. How warm is it up there, buddy? Have you started getting the heat wave like the U.S. is?
Expect to be 100 degrees tomorrow, Fahrenheit.
Wow. 103 with a heat index of 110 in North Carolina. I know it's probably been sweltering in Texas, where Charles Wooten is in his studio in Wichita Falls, Texas. Ready to go.
Oh!
Well, there you go. Another second time a tire spin. And look at this. Step right up. Come on in. Brightsman with a push, a bump. He falls to the back. New leader. Garber and Anderson go at it for the lead in the 1 and 2.
Multiple black flags for drivers passing by the tire spin of Reynolds. Race lead now going the direction of Caden Anderson. West Jr. sends it for second. Cole Raz sends it underneath Garber for third. All sorts of calamity off of 4.
Working off turn 4 after that crazy second additional wheel spin, and cars are sideways. It's Duncan. Duncan's car in trouble. He was sideways. He lost it. He bottlenecked the field behind them. Nonetheless, we still stay green. The leaders are back into 1 and 2. This is Huffines.
Trouble, turn 2. Brightsman with runners up on the wall. Caution is out after calamity starting off at turn 4. Everyone building up the suspension damage ends up stacking it up into turn 1 like Lego bricks.
Yellow flag is out for the 13th time. Another massive multi-car accident again, going into turn number 1 and 2. As we re-rack them, restack them, we have probably officially sealed the fate of not trying to let this race finish on distance of laps, but by sim time. With 14 minutes remaining, 30 laps to go, caution out. Justin, what happened?
I think a lot, to say the very least, because it...
Yeah.
I mean, you laugh, but Toby Ritter's, I think, is the best viewpoint to see all this, because it started off turn 4. You mentioned it with Duncan. 3 different cars got sandwiched up after Duncan got loose coming off of turn 4. But then the major trouble spot for all this craziness, I think, was the fact that Ritter's afterwards diamonded into the corner across the nose of Brightsman, and then really the caution stacked up with Tyler Kim getting into it. Here's the look.
A look at the replay. And what happened?
Well, 3 wide's not going to help a little bit, but I think it's more so turn 4 exit with Duncan rather. Very loose, right about here. No help, just a touch bit loose.
Okay, yep.
Corrects it up the track. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in that part. Then you have Brightsman. Here, look at the inside. Not clear.
Oh, man. Wow. So basically, this happened, Justin, when I saw Duncan get loose, when we panned away and went back to the battle for the lead. That's when the accident took place. Bam.
Yep. And a majority of those...
we thought, fingers crossed, that you know, Duncan was going to get out of it.
Well, Duncan got out of it after a few others got into it. But now, meet both legs, mandatory repairs, specifically for Ritter's from that incident.
Justin, we've got 28 laps to go when they come back to the start-finish line. 12 minutes remaining in sim time. And in the last 3 races, this will be the second race that has been forced to end, if you will, by a time limit. And take that out of the way. Throw that scenario out the window. If you're Dan West Jr. right now, what is he thinking? What does he got to do to get by Anderson here on the restart? Is it make him jump? Is it make him get some tire shake, give him some intimidation, be alongside? Anderson looks like he's going to take the inside instead of the outside. What's West got to do? Second win of the year if he can get it done.
Lick the stamp and send it. Press the intimidator button and hope it works like in the old NASCAR video games. It's going to be difficult to make the pass, I think. I'm serious.
Lick the stamp and send it. I love that, Justin.
Well, he needs to send it, for one, be able to force Anderson to make a mistake, or tries to intimidate him, make the mistake, try and pressurize Anderson to mistake. The tough thing is, this is Anderson's wheelhouse. Around this point forward in a run, he's been the king of the long run tonight.
And mind you, Justin, you know that Rass is going to hang right with Anderson on the restart here next time.
Oh, you know for sure. That, in fact, if anything, the second Anderson bobbles, I wouldn't be surprised to see Rass try and send it up the inside.
And go for the lead on his friend?
Yep.
We'll see what happens. Obviously, the choose rules have been decided as Anderson will stay to the inside, outside for Dan West Jr. Raz along with Reynolds. O'Hare, problems, remember that, 41 earlier, back in the top 5. Dan Lowther also back in the top 5. Dylan Huffines, Billings, Montana, John Audenbacher. Brian Barnes, somehow, someway, Justin, consistency in the top 10. And Casey Garber also. 27 to go, 9 minutes remaining in sim time. Could this be for the finish? Watch that outside. Dan West Jr. Powers on. Pace car is in. The field will come out of turn 4, back to the Geico restart zone, and what maybe could be the final restart of the night. Raz up under the tailpipe of the machine of Anderson and gave him a big attaboy push into turn number 1.
The Intimidator button is used by somebody. It's Cole Raz. Side by side for third, West Junior O'Hare. Battle for the race lead is on. Traffic coming out of the pit lane, and Chris White. Anderson tries to keep that in mind. Oh, for the match, the braking mark. Raz trying to go a little bit harder on the entry, off to the apex regardless. Off the board.
Dylan Huff finds up high. I thought he was going to eat the wall. He comes back down in front of the pack. 25 laps to go. 25 remaining and 8:50 remaining on time. The leaders are back in turn number 1 with now Anderson, Raz, and West. This is Lowther and Huffines going at it for position in turn 2.
West Jr. nearly slams the wall trying to send it for second. O'Hare takes advantage to take away a podium spot. Meanwhile, in the 3, the battle for the lead reaches Chris White in the traffic. Both of them hit the rumble strip. Now the battle for third on back. About to have to deal with the Toyota Camry.
And all the while, they come out of turn number 4, bobbing, weaving, inside, outside, snaking, if you will, trying to slither their way to get as many spots gained as they can before the clock runs out. Anderson, Raz, O'Hare on the inside, coming after Chris White, a lap car. This goes on as now West goes to his inside out of 2.
West Jr. wants third back. Looks to show the nose. Looks to send it in. Battle for the lead. Door at each other. Raz and Anderson up the track to the third groove. Anderson gives the squeeze back to Raz.
Anderson outside, Raz inside, makes the outside lane be faster. He'll now clear him by maybe a hood. They go back to turn number 1. The battle for the lead rolls on here at Gateway with 20 to 5-3 to go.
Down to 7.5 minutes to work with. Anderson looks to hold back on. Raz picking up ground. Last time went for the send into 3. This time keeps it bumper to bumper. No shove yet. Traffic ahead in Tower Kim. The top 2 with a 1-second buffer over the rest of the pack.
And all that goes on as the field working their way back to start finish. 22 remaining on board now with the Yakima, Washington native Caden Anderson inside. The leader moving by lap cars, passing Tyler Kim up on the top shelf to the inside now. Now to the outside lane. They follow each other. Nose to tail into turn number 3. There's Raz from the rear deck lid mirror. He is trying all he can to go after Anderson. Anderson will not fail out of 4.
Meanwhile, Briar Reynolds, after his poor launch, battling for 7th, is bumping and banging with Dylan Huffines.
Back across the start-finish line, there goes Huffines now. Huffines and Reynolds, that goes on side by side for position. Ottenbacher licking his chops, ready for that opportunity. Huffines to the left rear, the Reynolds car off of turn 2.
Huffines forced to check up, gets back into 6th. Reynolds looking to pick up with the traffic. Ottenbacher waits to look to pop himself forward. In to send is Huffines. Behind him, the checkups are on for Ottenbacher, Barnes, and Peterson stacking up with the lap traffic on top of them. And the wall traffic.
In the wall, look out, Kim in the middle. Peterson, Barnes, points leader inside. 20 laps to go now at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Under 5 minutes remaining now also with Anderson getting sideways is now Huffines and Reynolds. This is for 6th and 7th in turn 3.
Huffines looking to find a way forward. Can't get up there yet, but the race lead with 10 estimated laps to go. It's tight. 2 car lengths.
Start-finish line, and there you see the difference. Anderson, if he wins, will get his 3rd win of the year and tie with Super Friends teammate Cole Raz. They'll still be 2 behind on Lake Peterson with 5, who was somehow, some way trying to survive here tonight at Gateway. 2 laps down. That goes on in 3.
Raz looking to be as close as he can to set it up. 5 minutes to work with. That's 9 estimated laps up on the board. Down to 19 officially on the track. Raz diamonds the corner. Can't set it up yet.
Works off the exit of the corner. They both hug the outside retaining wall to the safer wall barrier past start-finish line. They go back to turn number 1 and 2 from the outside lane. Now hugging the middle lane of the corner of the racetrack. Raz with a shot. Couldn't get there. Couldn't get up under his car to the left rear. That happens again off 2, and he's sideways off the backstretch.
Big bobble costs Raz a big chance to send it. Raz forced to wait and rail back in Anderson. Both of them clip the curb, shuffle through the gears. Raz higher, babies the throttle, loses about a half a tenth this lap.
17 laps to go now. 4 minutes remaining on the clock. We're thinking lap number 150 with 10 laps to go. Could be the finish deciding factor of this event. The battle going on for the lead. If they want to do something, that's Cole Raz. He better do it now. They have opened up a 1.4 second lead on O'Hare in third. And there's the great battle between Reynolds and Huffines again.
They are still scrapping it out for sixth. Huffines deeper on the brakes, sending it into the bumper nearly of Reynolds. Reynolds misses the bottom. Reynolds still parks the bus to hold on to sixth.
Holds on to that spot. Here comes Huffines, though. He got sideways. He got loose as they crossed through the Geico restart zone. He looked to make a move on Reynolds. Reynolds through the block. He stays on the outside lane. Huffines inside, outside. Where does he go? He stays hooked to the left rear quarter off of turn 2.
Another run for Huffines, looking for a top 6 run. Not able to make it close, though, to send it on in. Still maintaining patience. About 3 minutes to work with, 5 estimated laps to go with the time left as things get intriguing.
3 minutes left as these two cars cross the start-finish line. While that goes on, Raz has cut the lead to 100th of a second back on Caden Anderson for the lead. Trying so hard to make something happen. It's Huffines and Reynolds, though. Best battle. That's for sixth off turn 2.
Keep in mind they are closing in on Dan Lowther. Last time by, Lowther lost 2/10. Huffines not able to find a run to the inside still. 2.5 minutes to go, time estimate.
So even though these two drivers are battling like cats and dogs on a rainy day or even a hot, heated day, it's still not letting them lose ground to Dan Lowther. Lowther better be on his P's and Q's because they are coming after him as now. Here comes a run. Huffines on the inside of Reynolds for that spot with 14 to go.
Reynolds tries to give the pinch back. Huffines looks to keep it low, has a bubble. Huffines loses ground. Huffines forced to regroup. No muss for the 20 of Huffines into 3. For the race leaders, bumper to bumper.
And all the while this goes on, they're coming to the line. It is 13 laps to go, and Justin, also a 2-minute warning. Just like in football, 2 minutes left to go here in this race. They know they got to go here and make a move, and Raz knows it's right there. The move to the inside. Put the 10 to the lead. Anderson, can he go to the crossover? They go for it again to the bottom into 3.
Side by side, coming to 2 estimated laps to go. 90 seconds on the clock. Earlier break for Anderson, riding the bottom. Raz rides the top. Anderson tries to roll the rumble strips. Raz lifts up the corner, tight as they slam the wall nearly.
Yeah, they make contact with one another, then they make a bonsai move away from each other. They are still door to door like it's a drag strip into turn number 1. Side by side, would you have it any other way? Anderson, Raz, Super Friends, part 3. They get together again down the back straightaway.
Anderson regroups. One more chance possibly to send it. Down to a minute to go on the clock. Timing is of the essence. Possibly 1 to 2 laps to go here based on the time marks. Anderson, after leading 93 laps, looking to regroup.
They know somehow, some way, they have got to make this move. Raz looking for win 4 of the year. Anderson looking for win 3. He's trying to close in on his buddy as they work out a turn 2. Caution is out. That is going to seal the deal. Take away all the momentum that just happened. 25 seconds on the clock, Justin Prince. 11 laps to go. This race is over. Cole Raz, win 4 of the year.
And not how Anderson wanted this to Farrow, yes, but what a fight. Caution coming out as a result of BJ Tidrick going around off turn 4 to end this race under yellow. There goes the time frame. Last lap triggered.
Last lap. CRN 1 to go under the caution flag there, Justin.
They'll be taking it under the pace car lights as well. Raz, perfect chance to be able to take the lead there. Takes advantage of one little mistake of sorts with Anderson. And takes the W for it.
And all the while, it is Cole Raz now picking up win number 4. If Caden Anderson says, man, I wish I had one more restart. We told you, though, that this could have been the deciding factor. For the second time in 3 weeks, the races have been called on a time limit. The win will go to Cole Raz, Justin Prince, win number 4 of the year for the number 10.
What a fight for the race lead down to the final few moments. Door to door, banging along each other. And quietly O'Hare able to take a podium with the race in sim complete.
And I'll say this much, Justin. I'd have loved to at least got one more restart to see what Anderson and Raz would have done to one another, because they're just one of those types of guys that you seen it before the caution came out with Tidrick. You've seen the way they bumped, they banged, they ran each other up the racetrack out of turn number 4. They were going to do any...
Welcome to tonight's post-race coverage for the Northwest Racing Cup Series from iRacing's virtual worldwide technology raceway here in the state of Illinois, just in the shadow of St. Louis, Missouri. Justin Prince with you, Wesley Otwin. Join us in just a few moments as to quickly break down your unofficial race results after tonight's action. Cole Raz picking up the victory here at Gateway under caution. Kate Anderson, Stephen O'Hare, the top 3 with Dan West Jr., Dan Lowther, your top 5. Dylan Hopfines, Briar Reynolds, Brian Barnes, Casey Duncan, and Sean Brightman, the top 10. Ottenbacher, Kamari Garber, top 13 with Peterson and Lundberg in 14 and 15. Tidrick, Smith, White, Kim Ritters, the top 20, with Vining, Daggett, Hunter, Stabnow, Berg, as well as Harris, Cooper, and Yee, your 28 finishers in this one. BJ Javal did not take the green. As the drivers get sorted out for tonight's action, Stephen O'Hare standing by, finishing third tonight. Stephen, you're amongst those who were in the middle of the Hornet's Nest. What was that like from you tonight?
Yeah, it was, I guess, a night of survival. Started in the back, worked our way up, and then had a pit blunder, put us back there. Came off the 6 car, hit the inside wall and had some damage. Had to use fast repair. And so from there, it was kind of hair on fire. Just trying to survive to get the lucky dog. And it worked out. I think the 10 and the 37 were super, super quick. So I felt like towards the beginning of the race there, we had a car capable of fighting for a top 5. So to bring it home third is a good night.
How would you describe the feeling of the tires in particular? Because it looked like this track ate tires for breakfast. Several drivers lap 30 into the run just seemed to drop like a stone.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of tire wear, which I think made it a lot of fun. You could save some stuff. Of course, if you had the fresh rubber, you felt like Superman. So I think it had a good balance there. I think having to use the brakes and shifting, added to the tire wear and opportunities.
Next time out, we head to Nashville, Music City. Your thoughts there?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about Nashville. I feel like those tracks kind of lend themselves to the team strength. So we'll get some practice laps in and be prepared for Nashville.
Indeed. Thank you. Anyone you want to give a shout out to real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. American Touch Up, Paints, Nicole Brand Photography, Beaver State Racing, all the guys at Northwest Racing Series, and certainly all you guys up there at LSRTV for putting us on air and allowing everybody to watch. Thank you.
Congratulations on the podium.
Me and Cole just want to win, and as long as we're not overly being aggressive with the bumping and the moving and the dooring and whatnot, then we're fine with racing side by side and racing like that. We were still able to battle. I mean, there was a time there where we doored each other in 3 and 4, and I still kept the lead on the other side. So honestly it doesn't matter as long as it's clean and raceable. Then I'm fine with it.
Of course, you're the king of the long run tonight. 109 laps led. A majority of those laps on the long runs, you were leading by as much as 2 seconds. What was that? How were you able to save the tires efficiently as you did? Because many struggled past lap 30.
Yeah, I want to say the first 30 laps, I didn't save my tires very well, and Cole ran me down there, and luckily there was a caution that came out, but it really put a perspective in me to start saving, and I just had to try to figure out a different way of saving the right front, and fortunately I was able to figure out how to do it, and I think I gave my secret away there at the end to Cole. So other than that, yeah, I think just being able to save that right front so you don't burn it off and have to put so much fuel into it was the key tonight.
You want to thank for the run?
Yeah, I just want to thank Harvest Chevrolet, PTI Transportation, and Studio 10 Reps.
Again, that is Caden Anderson finishing in second. Cole Raz finishing in victory lane tonight. Cole, how does it feel to win after what was a bit of a bumping and banging battle for the win?
It was a lot of fun, especially when you're running with your good buddy Caden, and like he mentioned, both of us want to win so damn bad, and I think the only way I was able to get the lead was him locking up the left front, getting to one, and I think if we finished the full race, I think he was going to get by me, and he was just so dominant tonight, and he let me in on a little trick in 3 and 4, and it took me about 50-60 laps to finally figure it out. And it was a wild night.
You mentioned that learning experience very critical. But what was the thought process to set things up in the closing stages to try and use the intimidator button of sorts to pressurize mistakes?
I think that was truthfully the only way. This place is so hard to pass at. You can get a really good run off of 2, and the outside lane is technically, or I guess in a sense, better when you're side by side because you can squeeze them and get a better run off 4, and then it's complete opposite in 1 and 2. So it was just so hard to pass. I think that was the only way for me to get around him, was try and keep the pressure on the best I could and force him into a mistake. And unfortunately it did happen for him, but fortunately for me it did. So overall, 1-2 for us again in this series is always something to keep our head high on, and something we are going to look forward to doing on Thursday as well.
Indeed. Well, on that mark forward, incredible battling here tonight. Anyone you want to thank for your run?
Yeah, big thank you, Master Wrenchwells, Josh, LSRTV, Caden Anderson Designs, Caden Anderson Race Team, Breyer, Justin, Lake, Casey Garber, Caden Anderson, everybody that comes out through our team and helping out with feedback and information. So, big thank you to everybody that helps put this on. I enjoy it. It was unfortunate to have the time expire on us early again this year, but hopefully Thursday's cleaned up and we'll have a good show for the fans.
Congratulations on the victory. That's Cole Raz coming away with the victory tonight. I'd like to thank him, Caden Anderson, Stephen O'Hare, for taking the time to speak with us here during post-race coverage. But with that, it's time to say goodbye. We'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's action from iRacing's virtual Worldwide Technology Raceway. The next time LSRTV will have coverage of the Northwest Racing Series will be this upcoming Thursday, when they look to battle it out in the trucks. And then keep in mind, and before that mark, it's short track racing for the Crown Jewel short track action. That taking place Wednesday evening. Be sure to tune in here on LSRTV. With that, it's time to say goodbye. For our producer, Charles Wood, and for my co-announcer, Wesley Utwin, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Congratulations to Cole Raz, your winner at Gateway.